Among other unique and illustrious designations, Sri Sathya Sai Baba was also a world teacher who founded a network of primary and secondary schools and a university system with multiple campuses. There are presently 31 institutes of Sathya Sai education and 44 associated schools throughout the world that are based on the universal principles and highly adaptable pedagogy of education that were advanced by him. Soon after my retirement, I was honored to be chosen by him as the founding director of the Institute of Sathya Sai Education in the United States and served in that capacity for 7 years. What follows are 9 quotes by Sathya Sai Baba on the essence of true education. But before I begin, let me be completely clear in saying that many of the problems and much of the neglect that we face in the world today have not been brought on by people who are uneducated, but by those who have attended what are said to be some of the best schools and universities in the United States and across the world. And that should make us wonder. Okay, here we go. The true aim of education is to make explicit the innate powers of man. These are 2 types. One relates to the knowledge of external things, and the organ that manifests this power is the head. The organ that enables one to bring out the inner knowledge is the heart. The former relates to physical existence, while the latter to higher learning in its true sense. Life will become ideal only when both these types of knowledge are made manifest in harmony. Education is not merely accumulation of information or even the acquisition of skills. It is the cleansing of the mind, the strengthening of unselfish tendencies, and the discovery of the truth, beauty, and goodness that lie dormant in every being. It is the cultivation of integrity, tolerance, and compassion. Along with knowledge, it is important to have character also. Then only you can enjoy a perfect balance in life. It is a pity that today's education caters only to the development of intelligence. What is the use of acquiring any amount of knowledge available in the world if one does not have character? This is the reason for the loss of balance in the case of modern man in general, and educated men in particular. Education must instill the fundamental human values of truth, right action, peace, love, and nonviolence. It must broaden the vision to include the welfare of the entire world. Education must equip man to live happily without making others unhappy, to evaluate everything correctly and without prejudice, and to keep one's attention fixed ever on the most precious and the highest achievement of all, which is self-realization. Education has 2 important characteristics. One is exposition of facts relating to any subject. The other is the unfolding of the individual's personality. The first is concerned with matter. The second is with divine energy. Education is a combination of the 2. It is a combination of worldly and spiritual knowledge. Education cannot be confined to stuffing the head. It has to melt the heart, refine it, and turn it towards God. Man has to be transformed into an ideal human being with a compassionate heart. Every effort should be made to utilize education for the purpose of divinizing man. Education is being confused with the acquisition of scholarship. This is wrong. Education has to open the doors of the mind. Many describe science today as a powerful acquisition, but science holds before mankind a great opportunity. That is all. If it is devoid of character, it brings disaster. It can then cause evil and wickedness. Intelligence can be found to be very high among clever thieves. So too, scientific knowledge can be misused for destructive purposes. What is the objective of studying? You must study to become steady. When you have a steady mind, you can prosper. Your mind should not move like the pendulum of a clock. See to it that the divine love in your heart is steady. The goal of education should not be to just acquire theoretical knowledge, but to practically apply it in your life. Your education should be for life and not for mere living. Birds and animals lead life without studying, but your education must result in you developing a strong and good character. In this life, the only high aspiration you must have is for God. Many people collect a lot of information from newspapers and other sources, trying to find out what happened in Germany, the United States, and other parts of the world. These are good to know, but not very important. The aim of education should be to concentrate your mind onto a higher ideal and not merely become like a library, which is a conglomeration of all kinds of facts. Good education is not merely reading several books, gathering bookish knowledge, and teaching it to others. There is no use acquiring mere bookish knowledge. By acquiring bookish knowledge, you may perhaps become a book yourself. Real education is that which destroys narrow-mindedness and promotes unity, equality, and peaceful coexistence with fellow human beings. Merely reading books and periodicals and acquiring bookish knowledge is the so-called secular education. Several people in the world today are pursuing this type of education only. But this cannot be termed as real education. Real education is inside out. It flows from the heart and is termed as educare. There's a lot of difference between education and educare. Educare is the basis and foundation for all types of education. Educare is the support, and education is the supported. All the texts we read teach only education to us, but this is totally inadequate. We must also pursue educare, that which comes from the heart, along with education. And finally, the value of the teaching process lies in raising the level of consciousness of the learner, in heightening the sense of wonder and awe, and in emphasizing the unity of one with all.